Hello, Supercars in Seconds here. Today we've got one of the very first road-going Bentley Bentaygas for 2021. A nice refresh on the car, but I'm going to go through the differences from a 2019 to 2021 and show you the really fun details they've given us on the new car. So looking at the two cars together here, some obvious differences, of course, a larger grille here and so on, a little bit wider, more square. The headlights, I think, would be the biggest difference. They've now gone to the big coupe and the sedan, the Flying Spur, they've gone to those beautiful jeweled headlamps that are really amazing when they light up at night. 5,400 pounds, similar weight, same 542 horsepower, twin turbo 4-litre V8, still permanent all-wheel drives, a lot of similarities. But this great big winged B here is much larger. If you see it on the other car there, it's smaller over there. Just little tiny tweaks that I think improve the car dramatically. The back end especially is really, really nice. We've now got the individual lights, again, more like the big coupes that just look great. Previously we had the B that illuminated on the car. So when the lights were on, it would have a B in the LEDs. Now we've gone to the more traditional Bentley look with the oval lamps. So to open the rear hatch on the previous car, underneath here there's a rubber pad. Just push on that and that will allow the tailgate to open up. Still that beautiful carpeted area, of course, that's just lovely and so on. Lots of cool stuff underneath there. But the big deal is the carpet is just so lovely. Going over to the new car, I now, like the coupes and so on and the Flying Spur, you push on the winged B, push on the B, and then that opens up. The actual opening seems to be a similar shape, you know, similar details and so on inside. Same ride height adjustments for access modes and so on that the other car has. But of course the lights now being that circular motion on the tailgate give us a flat area here, whereas we still have half the LED on the previous car. So now we've got these beautiful lights on and they are just magnificent to look at. It's obviously bright daytime and they're still very impressive. In the evening, they're really wonderful. A new design, 22-inch wheel here. Little V8 badging. I like this one. This is a launch edition car. It's called First Edition. It's rather nice on the rear pillar there. This color's called Extreme Silver. And the light doesn't really catch it, but it's got a little bit of beige, a little bit of gold, a lot of silver. Really a very nice color. I like the addition of the blacked out window frames, and the new roof bars are very nice too. They've shaped the rear wing here more. There's now a dip in the center, and it seems a little longer. When I look at the previous car, it's a little shorter here and much smoother. Still nice, but here I think they've listened to the customers and gone a little bit more aggressive. So opening up the lovely winged B, we have our 4-litre 8-cylinder twin turbo. Again, 542 horsepower, same as the previous model, not much change there. But still under 4 seconds to 60 miles an hour. They're quoting us about 3.7 to 60 miles an hour. So even though it's about 250 pounds lighter than the 12-cylinder, which has more power, the acceleration times, at least up to about 100 miles an hour, are actually very similar. Going into the 2019 car here, we still have the same 16-way adjustable seats and so on, and beautifully designed, of course, little details everywhere. What's changed is the display in here. We've lost our traditional analog gauges, and the screen has gone from this one to a full 10.9-inch screen. Also, the lovely clock is going to be in a different section now. They haven't touched much on the center console here. Still one of the best looking gear changes, I think. That gear lever is just very beautiful with the big B on top. So now in the 2021 car, again, not much has changed down there. We still have our parking help and so on. It'll self-park and so on. But here, beautiful detail. I'm going to climb in a little bit. Again, I'll touch this to give you some idea of scale. Very beautiful. Again, this is kind of in the Flying Spur, but lower down in the Flying Spur down here, among where the air conditioning controls are on this car. On this main display, when I start the car up, that's down in the center console here on all Bentaygas. I've now got that great three-dimensional, almost a photograph, it's Google Earth type images for the navigation. So that's a nice addition, I think, to the car. Okay, this big enormous screen, 10.9 inches, is really a big change. This is new too. This is a textured metal finish that looks really nice in the car. One of the cooler features on this big center screen, again, a 10.9 inch screen, hard to see, we got our reverse and everything. I'm going to push the button on top and slide her into reverse. That will go up here. Now we're in reverse, and here's our lovely backup camera. So I've got a forward facing camera, I've got the backup camera, etc., and the 360 vision there as well. What's fun, it's starting to rain, but as I wash the rear window with this little lever here by pushing it forwards, it will wash the rear window, but also wash the camera for you. Now that's really spoiling you, I think. Wonderful stuff. So at the end of the day, this is still a big Bentley. The quality feeling, you can definitely feel that 5,400 pounds as you start to move away. The 8-speed transmission is very aggressive in this car. I'm just cruising along here and I'll put completely to the floor and it goes down like 5 gears. And big exhaust opens up and you get a wonderful sound. I'm driving the car currently in what's called Bentley mode, which would be sort of the medium mode. And I do have some adjustment that I'll show you now in a moment. So for the modes in the car, down in the center console here, I have this start-stop button. And that will turn, so as you can see that the little B for Bentley is illuminated at the moment. I have a custom mode over here where I can set up on the navigation screen then different things and different parameters. But I'm going to turn it to the left, which goes into sport. Immediately behind me then I heard the exhaust pipe open up to give us a bit more fun. But let's drive this thing pretty hard and see how it drives. So let's take off in Bentayga. The vehicle will really, really shock you how fast this thing is. I'm going to come to a complete stop here and then we'll just hit it. It's really quite exhilarating. All right, here we go. Oh, gosh. Wow, into Batman's corner here. Good Lord, that 48-volt suspension system, I was just going to start talking about it, and it shocked me how flat it stayed. It truthfully almost feels like it's leaning into the corner. Quite impressive. So we got that 15.7-inch front rotor here. I'm going to hit it very hard. Ooh, wow. Gosh, that would shock you how powerful that car will decelerate. So the name Bentayga comes from a mountainous area of Gran Canaria off the African coast. And I googled pictures of it, I'll show one now. And it's really very impressive to think that that's the name that they chose. You've seen the Yukon and the Tahoe, different things, names of mountain ranges. But this is very much a Bentley of the SUVs. I've heard that said many times, and when you drive it, you really understand what they mean. The weight, you feel that this thing is really heavy underneath you. The power is very surprising. I say, because all 4 wheels are driving, pulling out here, just hit it, and man, just no wheel spin. That's flat out there, and just incredible power. Quite impressive. In the modern era of Bentley, really since 2004, when that coupe came out with the 12-cylinder, a lot of the Bentleys have been 12-cylinder, but for many, many decades before that, they had an 8-cylinder, sometimes turbocharged. And I think the 8-cylinder suits the car's personality, particularly in the SUV. It's lighter on its feet. It makes it very enjoyable to drive. The 12-cylinder, once you're rolling, it feels a little quicker, but not much. This is more fun to drive, I think. I like the 8-cylinder. So coming down to our hard right-hander here, I'm going to click it down a gear and see how it does. There we go. Oh, it's nice. A little slow to react on the paddle there, but on the way up, it's much better. God, great wail out of the exhaust there under full revs. Nice sound. This is really an enjoyable car to drive. I think after having driven both, the air suspension on this one seems to go over the bumps better. So it's definitely not just an appearance facelift, they've done some nice stuff in the running of the car as well. So here are the two cars together. You can see a slightly larger wheel on this one, but there is a 22-inch option on the previous car as well. As far as body lines and creases, the big famous haunch that they've had since the 50s is still in both cars. The glass areas seem to be the same. It's just little tweaks that I think make the new one just look a little bit more aggressive. I really enjoyed driving the car today. It's just a lovely machine. So I hope you enjoyed that. That's the new Bentayga. Really a nice evolution rather than a full redo on the car, because the car was so good to start with. If you've had a chance to drive one, you'll know it is incredibly luxurious, but amazingly fast. Under 4 seconds to 60 miles an hour in that big 5,400-pound SUV is very, very impressive to feel. I'd appreciate you subscribing to the channel. I'd like you to be a part of this, please. It's really a lot of fun to be around these great cars, and please ask me any questions you have in the comments down below. Here I'm going to put a review on the Bentley Flying Spur, and here I'll put a review on the McLaren 720S. Thank you. I'll see you again soon.